CrowdStrike IT outage affected 8.5 million Windows devices, Microsoft says.
Here's a summary of the article.
EPA. Microsoft says it estimates that 8.5 million computers around the world were disabled by the global IT outage. The glitch came from a cybersecurity company called CrowdStrike, which sent out a corrupted software update to its huge number of customers. Microsoft, which is helping customers recover, said in a blog post, "We currently estimate that CrowdStrike's update affected 8.5 million Windows devices." The post by David Weston, Vice President, Enterprise and OS at the firm, says this number is less than 1% of all Windows machines worldwide, but that the broad economic and societal impacts reflect the use of CrowdStrike by enterprises that run many critical services. The company can be very accurate on how many devices were disabled by the outage, as it has performance telemetry to many by their internet connections. The massive outage has also prompted warnings by cybersecurity experts and agencies around the world about a wave of opportunistic hacking attempts linked to the IT outage. CrowdStrike head George Kurtz encouraged users to make sure they were speaking to official representatives from the company before downloading fixes.
This post received a score of 3,000, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
WannaCry only infected 300,000 systems back in 2017?
Zero Cool only crashed 1507. But that did include Wall Street.
Single-handedly causing a 7-point drop in New York Stock Exchange.
As someone who got stuck in the airport without near hotels and car rentals available, I'm qualified to say they fucked it up beyond imagination. It was like an apocalyptic movie that kept getting worse. All the monitors were showing the BSOD. All airport employees had this terrified look on their faces, and everything was being written on paper because their computers were bricked.
Same. The pilot just said, "I don't know what to tell you folks. I've never seen this before." Airport staff were totally flummoxed. We deplaned, were waiting for updates until 3 a.m., and the flight was eventually cancelled. I was luckily in for a work trip so I could expense the extra weekend I am stuck here, but man, I don't know how people will trust these systems anymore. It is mind-boggling that there was no backup or contingency, and how one issue affects so much worldwide.
To be fair, both the backup and the contingency would have run Falcon as well. So they might just have existed, but got bricked as well. The only solid defense you can have against this type of trouble is to have software management that disabled any and all updates without approval. Then you'd need personnel actively monitoring and checking over each and every service to actually approve updates in a timely fashion and to validate that the updates actually reached their recipients.
Yeah, but that is the proper defense and way to do it. Companies keep downsizing IT because things didn't break. They didn't break because we had enough smart people to do things properly. Everyone who knows anything about IT knows you need to test patches and updates before pushing them into the environment. What happened is due purely to greed. It's entirely preventable. Is it cheaper to pay salary for managing this process or have your whole enterprise go down out of the blue? It also exposes a gigantic vulnerability that can't be fixed with a patch.
This is not the way to look at it though. It's an AV vendor. AV needs to get pushed updates rapidly. This really isn't a redundant IT failure. You don't want to wait for AV pushes. You need your vendor to not brick your machine. AV is almost never slow-rolled, and it wasn't even like a title update or something. It's something that updates pretty frequently.
The problem is they didn't catch probably the most reproducible and symptomatic bug in the world and pushed it to production without seemingly any testing at all. I agree with all of your points, but this right here, that shit is unacceptable.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to Speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.